Alright lads, it is METAGOBIIN here and welcome to my countdown of the top 10 Oblivion mods. Now this video, as well as being a countdown, is also a little bit of a guide for those people who are new to the game, who want to know what kind of mods are available to enhance your gameplay. But it's also for people who want to replay Oblivion but make it an alternative or enhanced experience. I'll be going through a number of different categories, from graphical enhancements to large content mods, and of course all of the links to these mods will be in the description, and if they're not in the description, I'm going to give you permission to hunt me down and hold me at gunpoint until those mods are in the description. So let's get the graphic mods out of the way. I firstly recommend a Tweaked ENB. Not only is this a standard ENB mod, but it's also a more developed and detailed mod, which creates an immersive fantasy and authentic Oblivion look. It makes the game look and feel about 5 years younger. Now if you have an AMD card, then you may get an error where the depth of field effect makes the game so blurry that you can't see anything. The very simple fix for this is to delete the ENBeffectprepass file after you've installed the mod. There's also a conflict with screen recording software, so make sure you don't have any screen recording software open while you're playing the game. I just thought I'd save you a potential 12 hours trying to overcome the problems I had with the mod, so just make sure to read the installation instructions very carefully. Our second mod is also a graphic mod. The problem with the ENB mod is that your scenery looks beautiful and detailed, but the dated mesh quality of NPCs just still looks pretty ugly. But fortunately there is a mod which completely replaces the NPCs to a high resolution, which with more detailed textures, and it's called the Character Overhaul version 2. Now my main advice is to follow the install instructions very carefully for this mod. Make sure all the correct files that are required for the mod are in place in your Oblivion folder before you actually install the mod. It can take a few, you might need to do it a few times, but just make sure you have all the correct files properly installed. I mean, if you're looking for some more graphical mods, I'd recommend Weather All Natural, Enhanced Water, and Enhanced Vegetation. There's also a complete rework of a default interface called DarNified UI, which makes the interface a little more organized and adds a HUD which doesn't fill the screen as much. And it can also be very easily completely configured within the actual interface. The next mod on our list is for those of you who are sick of going through the same tutorial opening. But if you're new to the game, I'd recommend going through the default opening at least once before you get this mod. It is an alternative start mod. Instead of traditionally starting the game in a prison like all Elder Scrolls games, you begin your adventure travelling by boat. Not only does the mod give you a quick start to your game, but it also provides an immersive beginning by giving you a set of questions which determine the kind of person you are, and these questions determine your starting items. Like for instance, if you state that you're an Imperial War veteran, then you are given a full set of Imperial armour to start off, and a sword and a bit of money. Next we have an enemy mod called Creature Diversity, which strangely enough increases the diversity in default enemies within the game, with some interesting and completely lore-friendly additions. With this mod there's probably over 100 unique enemies in the game, so you'll never get bored at whose skull you're bashing in. Unnecessary Violence version 3 is a mod which will increase the diversity in which you can kill those diverse creatures. This is a complete combat overhaul mod which shall give the ability to dual wield, beat people up with a staff, or kick people in the head. There's also quite a quantity of various animations added to your arsenal of attacks. But the thing I like the most about this mod is the additional feature of locational damage, where for instance shooting people in the head with an arrow will do more damage when hitting people in the leg, which is something I've really disliked about the Elder Scrolls game, because you get a headshot, and it's pretty hard to get a headshot with a bow and arrow, but it just doesn't reward you for that. But anyway, if you're looking to play Oblivion as a wizard, then the best magic overhaul mod would have to be Midas magic, which will probably add about 300 new spells to the game. But it would also add a few new quests and areas where you can actually obtain the spells rather than just learning them from a vendor. It's quite a lot of mental combinations in this mod, and it will probably take a number of hours to fully experience the full extent of the mod. Now to finish off, I'm going to give you two big content mods. Just remember that there are many of these kind of mods. So, be sure to get on the Nexus and check them out. The first mod I have for you works by expanding the vanilla Vampire Hunter faction, which I won't give too much information away, for fear of spoilers. But in the default game, there was an interesting quest about a group of vampire hunters, and at the end of that quest, it felt like it was going to go somewhere. It felt like there was going to be more quests, but it wasn't. You even got like a little bit in your status screen saying that you're a member of that guild, member of that faction. It felt like it was going to be a new faction, and basically this mod just aims to build upon that. Then there's going to be a lot more quests with building on this idea of being a vampire hunter. The second mod I have for you is considerably larger, since it adds the land of Morrowind, Solstheim, Mournhold and Vvardenfell, which is essentially a reboot of Morrowind and its expansions, with other gameplay features like becoming a werewolf or a lich. The mod adds about, hours and hours upon hours of gameplay, with numerous quests and new dungeons to explore. And lastly, for real this time, I'm going to give you two mods which massively increase the immersive experience of Oblivion, which both are Basic Primary Needs and Let There Be Darkness. The first mod very simply adds mechanics where you need to eat and drink, and to sleep, to retain your kind of like maximum healthiness. So basically, if you don't eat, drink or sleep, your health, mana and fatigue will be reduced. So the game kind of forces you to walk into inns on your travels and take a break from slaughtering goblins to, just chill out for a bit, which is something that quite a lot of modern RPGs are quite lacking these days, but oh well. The second mod is going to make dungeons much more frightening and deadly by reducing their level of lightness. So it kind of becomes absolutely essential for you to use a torch or a starlight spell or night eye. It's another fun immersive feature that can be very enjoyable, because it adds that kind of a level of fear and difficulty to the game. And that is the end of the video, lads. I'm going to make an exact same video but for Skyrim soon, so be sure to throw me a sub and stick around. Remember also to check the description for mods featured in this video, and check the playlist link as well. That will send you to a very organised page where you can see all of my videos. Anyway, stay tuned for more similar content. My name is METAGOBIIN. Until my next video, ciao.